If you want to move away from modern medicine, if you want to discover healthier alternatives for your family, if you want a healthy body, then you're in the right place. Hey beauty, I'm Alexandra. I'm an author and clinical research nurse who discovered that Jesus is the source of true healing. I am the Lord your healer. Exodus 15:26. Mark 14, starting in verse 3. And while he was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, as he was reclining at table, a woman came with an alabaster flask of ointment of pure nard, very costly, and she broke the flask and poured it over his head. There were some who said to themselves indignantly, "Why was the ointment wasted like that? For this ointment could have been sold for more than 300 denarii and given to the poor." And they scolded her. Verse 3 mentions nard, which is also called spikenard or Nardostachys jatamansi. I've wondered about this essential oil for a while, spikenard, because I knew that it was used in the Bible. I'm going to read to you an excerpt from one of Dr. Axe's articles about spikenard. In ancient times, spikenard was regarded as one of the most precious oils. It's been used as a perfume, a medicine, and in religious contexts across a wide territory from India to Europe. Biblically, it's referenced when Mary of Bethany spent a year's worth of wages to buy this oil and anoint Jesus' feet before the Last Supper. Spikenard oil is used as herbal medicine to naturally treat insomnia, stress, digestive problems, weak immune system, and infections. In Ayurvedic medicine, it's used for a range of health conditions from sleeping disorder and depression to chronic fatigue syndrome. Ancient healers knew that this remarkable plant could be used to safely and effectively improve common health concerns. So, according to this article, Mary of Bethany spent a year's worth of wages to buy this oil and anoint Jesus' feet. A year's worth of wages. That's a lot of money. I also think about how when Jesus was born, he was given gifts like gold, frankincense, and myrrh. In the past, spices and essential oils were given as gifts, and they were apparently very precious. According to this essential oil book that I have is called The Essential Life. This is version 4.0. Here are some top uses of spikenard. It's used for aging and irritated skin. It's used for insomnia, stress and tension, PMS and menstrual issues, candida and vaginal thrush, convulsions, seizures, and muscle spasms, detoxing, diuretic, and cellulite. It's used for the terminally ill and people in hospice. It's used for ulcers, gas and indigestion, pink eye and rashes. It's used as a perfume. It's used for anxiety, depression, and old emotional blocks, and for emotional balance. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you'll know that I am fascinated by natural remedies. I'm fascinated by the fact that God left healing foods and herbs and essential oils and plants on earth for us. And it just makes me wonder in the US if the conventional medical system were more open to natural remedies. I wonder how much more well we would be. I mean, I think about the past, I don't know, 60 years and the things that we've been told about food that I no longer believe. I remember when people used to eat margarine because we were told that margarine was healthier than butter. We're told to go on a low sodium, low fat, low taste, apparently, diet. What if the answer is to just get back to real food? What if we stayed away from the processed salt and chose sea salt instead? What if instead of eating so much processed food, we went back to eating animals raised the way God intended them to be raised? What if instead of cooking with a bunch of vegetable oils that are super unhealthy because they're really processed, we started cooking with avocado oil and tallow? I started cooking with tallow, and the food is really delicious. I used to call myself the junk food queen. When I was a lot younger, I was a junk food queen, but I'm a lot older now, and yet I'm a lot healthier, partly because of what I eat. But the beautiful part is that I eat a lot of delicious food. I eat a lot of real food, like raw milk, cheese made from raw milk, butter made with raw milk, pasta made with rice and corn, organic corn, and organic quinoa instead of processed wheat. I cook with tallow. I eat delicious grass-fed, pasture-raised meat, organic pasture-raised eggs. I eat desserts made with organic cacao, organic vanilla extract, desserts made with real maple syrup and honey instead of artificial sweeteners. Do I still eat processed food? Yes, I do. Do I think I'm better than you? Heck no, I do not. And I don't try to walk around like a crunchy mom. Honestly, it's hard. It's hard to eat the way that I do. It's hard to keep toxins away from the kids. It's hard to make different choices. And I'm not legalistic about what I eat anymore. And as I often say, it's not all about food and it's not all about exercise. It's not all about what our physical bodies need. Our health is dependent on a lot of things. It's dependent on spiritual health, mental health, social health. It depends on the environment that we're exposed to, along with exercise and what we eat. So, this episode is not about trying to convince you to try spikenard or essential oils or to eat the way I do. Not necessarily, anyway. I just think that if we were open to trying to go back to eating foods the way that God intended them to be eaten, if we started going back to some natural remedies and herbs and spices, I think we'd be a lot better off. I think if big tech, I don't know how much they're censoring anymore, but if big tech stopped censoring and they stopped pushing natural remedies down to the bottom of their websites, I think so many of us would have so much more knowledge about healing foods and essential oils because right now it's really kind of hard to find. And the reason why I was so curious about trying spikenard is because it's in the Bible, but I feel like there's not a ton of research on spikenard. It's my belief that there are so many natural remedies, so many combinations of herbs that are so healing to the body that we have not discovered yet or we forgot about because once the medical system started pushing those things out, we forgot about the natural remedies and or we stopped doing research on them. So we don't know what works and what doesn't. I wonder what the future holds. When God was creating certain herbs and spices and plants, I wonder if he was thinking, in 2025, I know that Alexandra will try this herb and it will help her with such and such symptom. I'm so excited for her to try it. I'm so excited for my beloved children to experience all the healing that I have for them. So, if you've been wondering about natural remedies and healing foods, if you've been rethinking your diet, realizing how much ingredients in your foods are not real food, I encourage you to make a small change. Even if you don't make a small change, I've said before that God used his healing foods and remedies to draw me closer to him. So if nothing else, I just want you to think about that. Think about how good God is. Think about how much he provided for you even before you were born. God used his creation to draw me closer to him. What is God using to draw you closer to him? Because I know that he's trying to get your attention somehow. or he has in the past, because that's who God is. He loves you so much. He knew you in your mother's womb. He had a plan for you from the very beginning. Why don't you just ponder that for a little bit? And if you haven't downloaded my free guide for you, Holistically Healthy Woman, 4 Steps to Move Away from Modern Medicine, go to herholistichealing.com/free. I will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening today. If you like what you heard, would you take a minute to leave the show a review? If you want to connect with me, you can join me in my free community. The link is in the show notes, or go to herholistichealing.com. Matthew 11. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls.
For you, it's easy and my burden is light.
This content is for informational purposes only and is not meant to be medical advice.